Football is one of the most popular sports in the world, and it has been played since ancient era by the Greeks and the Romans. It is a team game in which two teams participate, and in each team there are 11 members. There are also penalties in this game. One of them is free kick, which is also called Instep kick. It is given to the opposing team when a player makes a foul, like a dangerous play. In this video, I am going to discuss about the weaknesses that the beginners make together with the biomechanic principles.
Hi, today I'm going to try my very first Instep kick and going to analyze it and do research on how to improve it. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about the weaknesses, joints and muscles that are involved in the kick and also some tips to improve. So come along with me.
We can divide Instep kick into three phases. The first phase is when the player approaches the ball and then prepares to kick. The second phase is when the player does the backswing and then touch the ball. The third phase is when the player touches the ball and then kick it, which is called the follow-through step. Now, I would like to talk about the bones and the joints that are involved in Instep kick. Even though acromioclavicular joints and elbow joints are involved in this movement when we run, I would like to focus mainly on the lower extremities. Bones such as ilium bones, femur, patella, tibia, fibula, tarsal, metatarsal, and phalanges are all involved in this movement. And the main joints that are involved in this Instep kick are the hip joints, knee joint, and the ankle joints. The muscles that are involved in the Instep kick are mainly from the lower extremities, and they contain the quadriceps muscle groups, which include rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius. Not only that, muscles such as tibialis, femoralis, gluteal muscles such as gluteus maximus and gluteus medius, iliotibial tract, and hamstring muscle groups, which include biceps femoris, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, also involved in the movement of free kick, which is also called Instep kick. And what's more, muscles such as gastrocnemius and calcaneal tendon also work for the movement of Instep kick. There is one more muscle that is involved, and it is called iliopsoas muscle, which is attached to the iliums. This is the list of the bones and the joints that are involved in Instep kick, and this is the list of the muscles. Now I would like to go over the movements that we can see in the Instep kick. Before that, I would like to talk about the muscles, about the agonist and antagonist muscles. We all know that muscles work in pair. When one contracts, the other one relaxes. Agonist muscle is the muscle that makes the primary movement, while the antagonist muscle makes the movement that is opposite to the agonist muscle. The first movement I would like to talk about is the knee extension. We do knee extension when we kick the ball, like in this picture. And in this knee extension, the main joint is the patellar joint, knee joint. Agonist muscle is the quadriceps, and antagonist muscle is the hamstrings. The next movement is hip extension. We do hip extension when we do back swing, and in this hip extension, the main joint is the hip joint. Agonist muscle is gluteus maximus, and antagonist muscle is the iliopsoas. The next movement is the plantar flexion. We do plantar flexion when we kick the ball. In this plantar flexion, the main joint is the ankle joint. Agonist muscle is the gastrocnemius, and antagonist muscle is the tibialis anterior. The last movement I would like to discuss is knee flexion. In this knee flexion, the main joint is the knee joint. Agonist muscle is the hamstrings, and antagonist muscle is the quadriceps. This is the recording of my Instep kick, and you can see a lot of weaknesses here. So I'm going to discuss about these weaknesses together with the biomechanic principle. and explain why these are the weaknesses so that we can improve our instep kicks. The first weakness I would like to discuss is related to the biomechanics principle number 2, which says that the production of maximum force requires the use of all possible joint movements that contribute to the task's objective. So in this sagittal plane photo, you can see that the angle I made is way too big compared to this experienced player. Since I didn't use all of the possible joint movement, I cannot do the maximum backswing, and thus I cannot produce the enough force from my leg. So when I kick the ball will not go to the farthest distance. This is one of the weaknesses about my technique. The second weakness is related to the principle 4. It says that the greater the applied impulse, the greater the increase in velocity. This is somehow related to the first weakness I discussed. Since I didn't do the maximum backswing, I cannot produce the maximum force from my leg. And thus when I kick the ball, I cannot give the maximum force to the ball, and thus the ball will not get the greatest velocity. Since it doesn't get the greatest velocity, it will not go to the farthest distance that it can. So this is one of the weaknesses about my technique. The third weakness I would like to mention is somehow related to the principle number 6, which says that the angular motion is produced by the application of a force acting at some distance from an axis by torque. Angle of approach is really important in instep kick, and instep kick produces the projectile motion. In the projectile motion, the ball will go to the farthest distance when the angle of approach is at 45 degrees. So in my technique, you can see that my angle of approach is nearly 70 degrees, and thus the ball will not go to the farthest distance that it can. So this is another weakness about my technique. You can see that this experienced player is approaching the ball at the 45 degrees. There are also other weaknesses such as the position of the foot when it contacts the ball, shoe, and the field. This is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed and got something from this. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.